Times Square is more than just a place. It is the heartbeat of New York City, a living symbol of energy, excitement, and ambition. Known as the crossroads of the world, it is where millions of people gather every year to witness its magic. As the sun sets and the city lights awaken, Times Square transforms into a glowing spectacle that feels almost unreal. The gigantic digital billboards flash with colors, advertisements, and art, creating a world that never sleeps. Walking through Times Square, you feel surrounded by life. Tourists from every corner of the globe, street performers playing music, or showing tricks, and the constant movement of iconic yellow taxis, all blend into one unforgettable atmosphere. Every sound, every light, every moment tells a story of dreams being chased in this great city. Times Square is also a place of history. Once home to theaters and the rise of Broadway, it remains a cultural landmark where art, music, and entertainment meet. Standing here, you can almost hear echoes of the past, where generations before us stood with the same sense of wonder, one of the most iconic moments in Times Square happens every New Year's Eve. Millions gather to watch the famous ball, drop a tradition that marks not just the start of a new year, but the hope of new beginnings. On that night, the square shines brighter than ever, filled with joy, laughter, and the collective dreams of people around the world. Times Square is not just part of New York, it is New York. It represents the fast pace, the ambition, and the unstoppable spirit of this city. To stand here is to feel the pulse of the world. Rising proudly from Liberty Island, surrounded by the calm waters of New York Harbor, stands the Statue of Liberty, one of the most iconic landmarks in the entire world. Against the backdrop of a clear blue sky, her torch shines like a beacon of freedom, guiding generations with hope and strength. When you look at this close-up view, every detail tells a story: the folds of her robe, the determined expression on her face, and the flame held high as a promise of light in the darkest times. The Statue of Liberty was a gift from France to the United States in 1886, celebrating friendship and the shared values of liberty and democracy. For millions of immigrants arriving by ship, she was the very first sight of America, a symbol that they had reached a land of opportunity. Imagine stepping off a crowded vessel after a long journey and seeing this giant figure welcoming you with open arms. That single moment gave courage to countless families to begin a new life. Her crown, with 7 rays, represents the 7 seas and continents of the world, a reminder that liberty is not limited to one nation, but a universal dream. The tablet she holds bears the date July 4th, 1776, the day America declared independence. Every element carved into this monument has meaning, carefully designed to inspire generations. Today, the Statue of Liberty is more than a monument. She is a living symbol of resilience, unity, and the belief that no matter where we come from, freedom is a right we all deserve. Standing here with the ocean breeze and the sky above, you can feel her message. Liberty will always shine as long as we choose to protect it. As the sun begins to sink behind the horizon, the Manhattan skyline comes alive in golden light. From the Brooklyn Bridge, the view feels almost magical, towering skyscrapers stretching high into the dramatic sky, their glass windows reflecting the colors of the sunset. Each building tells a story, a monument to ambition, innovation, and the endless pursuit of dreams. The skyline is one of the most recognized in the world. It is a symbol of New York's strength and progress. The Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building, and the new One World Trade Center all rise proudly, shaping a city defined by resilience. Against the orange and purple glow of dusk, the skyline looks less like steel and concrete, and more like a painting brought to life. Walking across the Brooklyn Bridge, you can feel the rhythm of the city beneath your feet, the sound of cars moving across the lanes, the hum of conversations from people passing by, and the distant horns of ferries in the harbor, all mixed together to create the music of New York. And ahead, the skyline stands like a crown, waiting to welcome you into Manhattan's heart. For travelers, this view has always been a promise, a sign that they've arrived at a place where anything is possible. For New Yorkers, it is a reminder of home, of resilience through challenges, and of the city's unstoppable energy. As the final rays of sunlight fade and the first city lights flicker on, Manhattan transforms once again. Skyline shifts. From a warm sunset glow into a dazzling nightscape, glittering like a jewel in the darkness. From this spot on the Brooklyn Bridge, you are not just looking at buildings, you are looking at a dream carved into the sky. In the very heart of New York City, where steel towers rise and traffic never slows, lies an oasis of peace, Central Park. Seen from above in autumn, the park transforms into a breathtaking canvas of colors. Shades of red, gold, and orange, spread across the trees like nature's own masterpiece, painting the city in warmth. From the sky, the winding pathways look like golden ribbons weaving through a forest of fire and light. Central Park is more than just greenery. It is the soul of Manhattan. Created in the 19th century as a space for the people, it stretches across 843 acres, offering moments of calm in the middle of chaos. On a crisp autumn afternoon, you see families walking together, couples rowing small boats across the peaceful lake, joggers moving along the trails, and children laughing as the leaves crunch beneath their feet. Every corner of the park seems alive with simple joys. The lake shimmers softly under the autumn sun, reflecting the fiery trees above. Bridges arch gracefully over calm waters, while artists and musicians add life to the atmosphere. From Strawberry Fields, a place of remembrance for John Lennon, to the Bethesda Terrace, with its grand fountain, Central Park holds stories that touch both history and heart. It is a place where the noise of the city fades, replaced by the whisper of leaves and the call of birds. For New Yorkers, it is a daily escape, a reminder that even in the busiest city on earth, there is always room for nature, peace, and reflection. Looking down at Central Park in autumn, you don't just see trees and lakes, you see balance, beauty, and the harmony of a city that knows how to pause, even if only for a moment. As the first rays of the sun rise over New York City, the Brooklyn Bridge awakens with light. Stretched gracefully across the East River, its stone towers and steel cables form one of the most iconic sights in the world. In the soft glow of sunrise, the bridge does not just connect Brooklyn to Manhattan, it connects history to the present and dreams to reality. Walking along its wide wooden pathway, you feel the spirit of generations who crossed here before. Built in 1883, the Brooklyn Bridge was the longest suspension bridge of its time. A marvel of engineering and ambition, its Gothic-style arches rise like gateways to the city, while the steel cables crisscross above you like strings of a giant instrument, playing a silent song of strength and resilience. At sunrise, the atmosphere is magical. Few cars pass beneath, the air feels calm, and people walk slowly, soaking in the golden view of Manhattan's skyline. Photographers set up their tripods, capturing the way the sunlight paints the river in hues of orange and gold. Joggers run across their footsteps, echoing softly against the wooden planks. Couples stop midway, taking pictures with the rising sun and the city behind them, preserving a memory of this timeless moment. From this bridge, you see both the old and the new. To one side lies the modern towers of Manhattan, shining with ambition. To the other, the historic borough of Brooklyn, rich with culture and tradition. The Brooklyn Bridge is more than a structure. It is a story of vision, courage, and the unbreakable spirit of New York. As the sun climbs higher, the city awakens in full. But for those who stood on the Brooklyn Bridge at sunrise, they carry with them the memory of a New York that feels almost eternal. Looking up from the busy streets of Manhattan, the Empire State Building rises like a giant, piercing the clouds above. From this ground perspective, its sheer height feels overwhelming, a reminder of human ambition reaching for the sky. The sunlight bounces off its limestone facade, while drifting clouds seem to wrap around its peak. As if nature itself bows to this towering creation, completed in 1931. During the depths of the Great Depression, the Empire State Building was more than an engineering achievement, it was a symbol of hope. At a time when millions struggled, this skyscraper proved that progress could not be stopped. Standing at 1,454 feet, It held the title of the world's tallest building for nearly 4 decades, inspiring all who gazed upon it. From the street below, you feel small, yet strangely empowered. The chatter of people, the sound of honking taxis, and the rhythm of New York life all fade as your eyes climb upward along the steel and stone. Every window tells a story of offices where dreams are being built, of lights that burn late into the night. Visitors who ascend to the observation decks find themselves face to face with the city's vastness. Even from the street, the building tells its own tale. It speaks of architects who dared to imagine the impossible, of workers who risked their lives to place each beam, of a city that never accepts limits. The Empire State Building is not just part of the skyline, it is the very image of New York itself, strong, ambitious, and timeless. Looking up at its crown disappearing into the clouds, you cannot help but feel the same determination that built it, the belief that no dream is ever too high. At the heart of Manhattan's financial district lies a narrow street that holds enormous power. Wall Street, as you stand before the New York Stock Exchange, with its grand columns draped in massive American flags, you can feel the weight of history and ambition pressing against the air. The crowd around you moves quickly, men and women in suits carrying briefcases, traders speaking into phones, tourists snapping pictures, all part of the restless rhythm that defines this place. Wall Street is more than a street. IT is the symbol of global finance. From here, decisions are made that can send waves across the world's economy. The New York Stock Exchange, with its massive facade, has witnessed moments of triumph and disaster, from the roaring prosperity of the 1920s to the devastating crash of 1929 that shook the entire nation. Every stone in this district carries stories of risk, fortune, and survival. Walking along the cobblestones, you sense the energy of ambition. The sound of footsteps echoes against the historic buildings, blending with the distant murmur of conversations about markets, investments, and opportunity. The famous Charging Bull statue, just a short walk away, represents strength, optimism, the spirit of a market that is always moving forward. Yet Wall Street is not only about numbers and money. It is about dreams, the dream of building success, the dream of turning ideas into empires. For many, this street represents possibility, but also caution. For fortunes can rise and fall in a single moment. Standing here with the flags waving above and the busy crowd rushing past, you realize that Wall Street is the heartbeat of financial power, not just for New York, not just for America, but for the entire world. Rising boldly into the clear blue sky, One World Trade Center is more than just a skyscraper. It is a statement of strength, resilience, and hope. Its gleaming glass surface reflects the sunlight, creating a vision of clarity and power that can be seen for miles. From this angle, looking upward, it appears as if the building itself touches the heavens. A monument not only of architecture, but of spirit, built on the site of the original World Trade Center. This tower stands as a tribute to those lost on September 11, 2001, and as a promise that New York will always rise again. At 1,776 feet tall, its height was chosen deliberately to honor the year America declared independence. Every part of its design speaks of meaning: the strong steel base, the tapering glass walls, and the spire that pierces the sky like a beacon of resilience. When sunlight strikes its surface, the building transforms into a mirror of the world. Around it, clouds drift across its glass walls, birds soar past, and the city below is reflected back upon itself. It feels alive, not just a structure, but a living symbol of renewal. Visitors who step inside find not only offices and observation decks, but also a deep sense of history and remembrance. Standing at its base, you feel both humbled and inspired. The tower reminds you that tragedy does not define us, our response to it does. For New Yorkers, One World Trade Center is proof of courage. For the world, it is a reminder that even in the darkest times, light can be rebuilt. Against the blue sky, the tower shines not just as a building, but as a message. No matter what falls, we will always rise again. Beneath the streets of New York lies another city, hidden in plain sight: the subway. As you step down the stairs into the underground, the sound of rushing trains, distant footsteps, and the hum of voices welcome you into a world that never rests. The walls are lined with tiles. The air carries the scent of iron and motion. The platforms buzz with constant energy. The New York subway is one of the oldest and largest transit systems in the world. Opened in 1904, it has grown into a vast network of more than 600 miles of track, carrying millions of passengers every single day. From Wall Street bankers to students, from tourists to artists, the subway is the great equalizer here. Everyone travels side by side. As a train approaches, the tunnel fills with a sudden rush of air. The headlights cut through the darkness, and then, with a roar, the cars thunder past. Shaking the platform beneath your feet, doors slide open, and a wave of people flows in and out. Some read books, others scroll through their phones, musicians play violins or guitars in the corners, and street performers turn the underground into a stage. Art is everywhere in the subway. Mosaics, murals, and creative designs decorate many stations, transforming this underground maze into a living gallery. Yet, it is also raw, gritty, and real, a reflection of the city itself. The subway is more than transportation. It is New York's bloodstream. It keeps the city alive, moving, and connected. Whether it's the early hours of dawn or the middle of the night, the trains never truly stop. For those who ride it, the subway is not just a way to travel, it is the rhythm of New York, echoing beneath the streets above. As night falls, New York City transforms into a sea of light. From above, the view is breathtaking, a living galaxy spread across the earth. The skyscrapers shimmer like glowing pillars, streets form golden veins, and the bridges shine like jeweled threads connecting the city's islands. It is a sight that captures both the imagination and the soul. The aerial view reveals the true scale of New York. From the Empire State Building, standing tall among its neighbors, to the Chrysler Building gleaming with its Art Deco crown, every structure contributes to the city's identity. The financial district glows with the heartbeat of commerce, while Times Square blazes like an electric sun, seen even from miles away. The rivers reflect the lights, turning water into silver ribbons flowing endlessly into the night. But beyond, the beauty lies a deeper story. Each light represents a life, millions of people working late, dreaming, celebrating, or simply living their everyday moments. Together, they create the energy that gives New York its nickname, the city that never sleeps. From this perspective, the city feels infinite, almost magical. The sound of traffic, the laughter in the streets, the rhythm of subway trains, all fade when you look from above. What remains is a sense of wonder, how human ambition and creativity can shape a skyline that touches the clouds and lights that rival the stars. The aerial night view is not just a picture of New York, it is the essence of the city itself, powerful, restless, and alive. For anyone who sees it, the memory lasts forever, like a dream carved in light.